I'm very pleased to be here on My Magical Thing with Cathy Coyle, who is a coaching psychologist, a women's mentor, and a teacher, and a podcaster, and a witch. Cathy, it's lovely to have you here.
Thank you, Julian. I'm excited to be with you on My Magical Thing.
Well, my friend, the time has come. Cathy, may we see your magical thing, please?
You might. I had a bit of a mental breakdown trying to figure out which of my magical things was I going to speak about today. There was so many options, but I have chosen this.
Oh, pray tell us the story of this remarkable magical thing.
Yeah. So this is a yew wand from a yew tree. And this particular piece of yew is probably about maybe 800 years old, this piece of wood. And it was carved for me. It was given to me as a gift by a fairy folk, a beautiful Irish man called Ken of the Clan. And he carved this for me a number of years ago. And I was sitting today thinking, what am I going to speak about? Because I had all sorts of manner of magical objects that I wanted to explore. And then I was looking at the wand and I thought, yeah, I want to speak a little bit about yew magic, and my journey with the trees here in Ireland. This has kind of ignited that for me. So this year I am going to do a nine nights, 9 days, 9 nights of an initiation with the yew tree in the west of Ireland. And this is something I've been working my way up to for a number of years. And I'm in my year of basically initiation with the yew. And so the story goes, a number of years ago, I came across a teacher here in Ireland who basically does, you hear about people going to sort of South America to do diets with plants in the Amazon and whatnot. And I came across a woman who is a Celtic Iberian shaman. So she's Spanish, but she's been living in the west of Ireland for 30 years or so. And she takes people through initiations with the indigenous trees of Ireland. So I found her and I approached her. And at the time I said to her, I really feel that I'm supposed to sit with the yew tree. So it was like this piece of my being that was like, I really feel I'm supposed to sit with the yew tree. And she said, the yew tree is like, that takes years of preparation before you're ready, because it's the tree of resurrection, death, the underworld journey, you meet your demons, all this kind of thing. And so I went at the time and I sat with my first native tree to do a vision fast or a sitting out or a plant diet, whatever you want to call it, which was the oak tree. So I sat for a week fasting in the forest in the west of Ireland and in one of our few remaining indigenous oak forests. And I sat with the oak. Basically my teacher would make an elixir. She'd come every morning, she'd bring the elixir, and then I'd just sit for the day drinking the elixir. And so this has been a journey I've been on, working through various trees. So I've sat with the oak, I've sat with the hazel, the holly, the blackthorn, the hawthorn, different trees over the last years. And what I really love, and why the yew wand was kind of my inspiration for this, my passion in the piece that kind of bridges my witchcraft with my teaching, with my women's mentorship and my coaching, is all around this piece of really learning from nature, really learning from the environment. And as a witch, my foundation, I suppose, would be, I'm very curious about folk traditions. Like I'm curious about, witchcraft that comes from the land, or witchcraft that comes from the shape of a place and the shape of the space. And I found through these years that learning from trees is one of the best ways that we can learn about magic, and we can learn about ourselves, and we can go through these really beautiful journeys. And with the yew, what's really interesting, the place that I'm originally from, and I've lived all over the world, but the place that I'm originally from in Ireland is a place called Youghal. And in Irish, it's Quill, which means yew forest. So this part of the world was once probably one of the biggest yew forests in Ireland. I mean, if it's named that, and they've found like remains of yew trees in the boglands in this area, like ancient yew trees. And so I came across a practitioner called, what's his name? Michael. His name has evaded me now for a moment. Michael Dunning, Scottish man who lives in the United States now, but he has a school called yew shamanism, and he teaches practitioners how to initiate with the yew, basically. And we've been on a bit of a journey together. And he told me recently that the belief is that back in the, I don't know, some time back, that all across Europe there were clans that basically were devoted to the yew mysteries, and that was their entire cosmology, that they were devoted to the yew mysteries and learning from the yew and sitting with the yew. And when he shared this with me, it was like suddenly all of these parts of myself started to come home, because as a witch, I am a devotee of Hecate, and Hecate is, Anatolian, which is now modern day Turkey, Hellenistic, and I'm an Irish woman who's also working with Irish folk practices. But the yew is also sacred to Hecate. So it's like this tree starts to reflect all of these parts of my own personal cosmology. It's death, it's visioning, it's witchcraft, it's the dark side of the journey space, it's the resurrection rites. It's deeply rooted in the history of Ireland, but it's also reflected in this ancient goddess who comes from another part of the world where I don't have any potential genetic link. So this is some of my story of my yew wand.
Can we have another look at this beautiful object, which is the anchor for this story, and indeed is fashioned from this miraculous tree, the world tree, in a number of traditions, certainly a tree that I'm very familiar with. What have we got here? We've got crystals or some kind of gem set into the...
We have one of the most interesting things about this is that the man who made it for me, so I spent a lot of time in Africa. My husband is from South Africa, and we spend a lot of time there. And I'm an Irish, European traditional witch, but yet my favorite place in the world where there is no yew trees is the desert. I love the desert. And so in this wand, he has actually inserted sand from the Karoo Desert in South Africa inside the wand. So I have that little bit of desert power within my yew. And then there is some blue kyanite, some rose quartz, some black tourmaline, and this is just a clear quartz.
Beautiful.
Me. Yeah. And he carved this by hand, and this wand, he carved it across 13 moons. So he took it to various locations around the desert in South Africa. He came to visit me and he brought it with him. I think he finished it there. But up until that point, he brought it to specific rivers, under specific moons, equinoxes, solstices, this kind of thing. And he worked on creating me this magical thing across a very extended journey, as a proper craftsman would.
Cathy Coyle, thank you so much for sharing that practice rooted in many lands. It's really appreciated, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Julian. It was fun. Thank you.
Cheerio. Bye-bye.
Bye.